Last year, myself and Josh Owens had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and we saw what is basically a preview for the rest of the country. We had to ride a train because they didn't allow you to drive your private vehicle. And then when we get to the gate, they have somebody pat us down just like something out of the TSA. And actually, we have a little bit of that footage so people can see exactly what I'm talking about. And while we were hoping, well, I wasn't hoping that it would even be at the Super Bowl, but at least restricted to big events like that. But now they're saying they want this type of activity going all over the country, even in shopping malls. And we have the article, New York State Senator working on legislation for metal detectors at theaters, stadiums, and malls. And this is Tony Avella has announced that he's developing legislation that would require a theater, indoor mall, and stadium owners to provide enhanced security, whether that is a metal detector or security officers with wands that can wave people. So it's what I would say a violation of privacy. I definitely wouldn't want to go to the mall, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys wouldn't want to go to the mall either if you had to get some type of pat down or wanding or walk through a metal detector like you're some type of prisoner. Because we've seen the reports, whether it's going to happen or not, they're saying ICE is going to start using drones and dropping the ordnance and football stadiums and baseball stadiums and other type of events like that. Hopefully that will never happen, but that's what they're saying is the new thing. So if that's the new threat, why are you patting people down as they enter the stadiums? It's completely ridiculous. And now even the NFL has little baggies, you know, they're pre-checked approved bags because they didn't want the ladies to bring in their purses anymore. So you can go get this kind of clear, you know, parcel bag that you can put your things in, kind of like a big grocery bag that's clear. It has your little team logo on it, but they want you to feel at home while you're at the football stadium having your rights stripped away. It's completely ridiculous, and hopefully people will demand that these type of actions stop. And something else that needs to stop. Well, you watch this video for yourself, and then you tell me if this police officer's actions are in accordance with law and order.
He's very slow in all of his driving.
Hi. Go take your hand out of your pocket, okay?
No, sir, I haven't done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing, no.
Hey, seriously.
Put your gun down, really?
Edward 10. Start me another one.
This one's really got a gun on me. No. You don't touch me. You don't touch me.
I'm at that address. Start me another unit.
You don't touch me.
And the incident that you saw there happened last Wednesday, and this was Don McComas. He says he noticed an officer in a patrol vehicle was observing him while he latched his boat onto his SUV. And they were, I guess, suspicious of each other. I'm not exactly sure why the officer thought it was suspicious for this man to be conducting this activity. But Mr. McComas pulls out his phone, begins to film the police officer. The officer films him in return. But things quickly escalate when the officer exits the vehicle and draws his firearm. It's a very scary situation for anybody to encounter. But we've seen things like this happen before. Even our own viewers have called into the show. It was a lady and her friend in Illinois. Somebody came to install the smart meters onto their home. They said, hey, we don't want this. We don't want any of this stuff going on. And they began to film the installer. Then they had to film the police officers.
Here's UPA installers crossing over locked fences. And, okay, so police are now crossing locked fences without homeowners' consents.
Ma'am, I'm not giving you the permission to record me, so please don't record me.
Okay.
Now, to each his or her own in this case, and I understand it's a case-by-case basis, but just for me personally, I'd rather have my own record than have to rely on somebody else's. So take your filming engagements accordingly. Now, let's talk about CNN. You guys have seen a lot about these videos coming out over the past, I guess, month now. They have 5 more videos of Planned Parenthood to be released. And in these videos, we've seen people haggling over the prices of baby parts, saying that, you know, this is more important than that, or this gets more money than that. Also, people saying they want to use the proceeds of these chopped up babies to go and buy Lamborghinis. But with all this said, nobody really wants to come after Planned Parenthood. They want to say, well, Planned Parenthood denies that this is going on, regardless of the whistleblowers we've seen, regardless of the hidden camera footage that we've seen, and now they're doing this on CNN.
David, your critics of your organization, I should say that you're not journalists, as you purport to be on your website, but rather you're violent extremists. They say that you are operating under the guise of investigative reporting, but really you're trying to shut down all Planned Parenthoods and women's access to things like birth control and other services that they provide. Do you have any ties to Operation Rescue?
So a couple of things there. First, number one, I'm not a violent person.
And you see what they do here. Instead of focusing on Planned Parenthood and these other tied organizations that we know are chopping up babies, they don't want to go that route. They want to accuse this guy and try to link him in with some supposed violent extremist. You know, whether or not this other guy in the organization was involved in these activities, nobody really knows for sure at this point, but they didn't hesitate to throw it out there, even though we have Planned Parenthood on video haggling for these body parts, even though we have them on video chopping up the babies and saying, yeah, this is this and that piece. And this is something else that they said to the gentleman in the video. Your critics of your organization, they say that you're not really a journalist, regardless who this guy is, whether he has a press badge or not. That doesn't really matter. If he was just somebody off the street who said, hey, I'm just going to go into Planned Parenthood or one of these other facilities and film for the day, it doesn't make his footage any less credible. And they say this stuff is out of context, that these videos are edited. Of course, the videos are edited. You take like an hour-and-a-half dinner that you have with somebody, you boil it down to 5 minutes, there's going to be some editing involved. The real question is, are these things taken out of context? I don't believe so, because they'll show you, long form, this is the question I asked, this is how this person answered. In my opinion, that's not taking it out of context, but they will do everything they can to distort this truth to keep it from getting out to you, including in the state of California banning these videos. So anytime you see one of these videos, do not hesitate to share it with your friends and family. And we'll come to an end tonight talking about Hillary. And I will be the first to admit I'm not a big fan of Hillary, but I can say that as most of the people who are in this race, I'm not a big fan of them either. But now let's talk about the charitable givings of the Clinton Foundation. And we see that half of the Clintons' charitable foundations went to their own charity. And this is talking about $1.8 million appears to have been channeled to the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation. So isn't that so nice that they give themselves their own money? Not to mention, you can ask one of these Clintons to come to your facility for your establishment, and they will charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Great job right there. And this is why I'm not a big fan of pretty much anybody in the race. There are some that are a little bit better than others, but at this point, I'm not pulling for anybody, because you can see the article from the Daily Beast, and I'll be the first person to tell you I don't believe everything comes out the Daily Beast, but I like this article. Hillary Clinton's mega donors also fund Jeb Bush. So that's what we talk about, the left-right paradigm, how these are kind of a Don King boxing match. He doesn't care who wins because he owns both teams. The Super Bowl, the NFL doesn't care who wins the Super Bowl because they have both teams. They're going to get the merchandise either way. So if you want your news either way, stay tuned, because after this break, we have numerous special reports that you do not want to miss. Stay tuned. I'm Jakari Jackson from the InfoWars Command Center, and we'll see you right after this break.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force,